Come now to oral questions. The first in the name of David McLeod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, what reports has she seen on the cost of living?
I have seen, Mr. Speaker, I've seen many reports that show New Zealanders have experienced major cost of living pressures in recent years. Since 2017, there has been cumulative inflation of 24.6%, with annual inflation peaking at 7.3%, the highest rate of inflation in more than 30 years. The latest data shows inflation remains high at 5.6%, and so it is clear that the government has plenty of work to do. We know Kiwis are doing it tough after 6 years of economic mismanagement, which is why we are moving quickly to rebuild the economy for all New Zealanders.
Supplementary?
That's quite true, but in this case the question stopped pretty abruptly when I went in a certain direction, and that will continue.
Supplementary.
David McLeod.
Thank you. What specific cost of living pressures have New Zealanders faced?
Food and rent are big pressures Kiwis face, and the cost of both has soared in recent years. Since 2017, food prices have increased by 29.3%, above the overall rate of inflation. Over the same period, average rents have increased by $180 per week, a 45% increase. It is no surprise that Kiwis feel like they're falling behind when the cost of basics like food and rent have increased so much. That's why this government is taking action to rebuild the economy so hardworking Kiwis can get ahead.
Back on track.
Supplementary.
David McLeod.
How has the rise in the cost of living impacted interest rates?
Mr. Speaker, in response to rampant inflation, the official cash rate has risen to 5.5%, much higher than the 1.75% inherited by the last government in 2017. The effect of that significant tightening in monetary policy is a significant lift in mortgage interest rates, putting more pressure on Kiwis who are already struggling to pay the bills. It is a good reminder, Mr. Speaker, that there is no free lunch from rampant government spending. It just leads to higher taxes, more debt, and as so many Kiwis are facing right now, higher interest rates.
Supplementary.
David McLeod.
What plans does the government have to support Kiwis struggling with the cost of living?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Beating inflation is this government's top priority, which is why we're moving quickly to bring inflation down. We're restoring the Reserve Bank's single focus on inflation. We're reducing costs on businesses by cancelling the ute tax. We're clearing away broken regulations like the previous government's RMA replacement. And next year, we will be delivering tax relief for hard-working Kiwis struggling with the cost of living so they can keep more of what they earn.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Grant Robertson.
Is the latest OECD economic outlook on New Zealand correct when they said that, quote, we should not have tax cuts if we want to counter inflation and improve the cost of living?
No, because New Zealanders have been overtaxed by a government that oversaw rampant spending increases, and their bank accounts have been eroded not only by inflation but also by higher average tax rates, and they have elected a government that's going to let them keep more of what they earn.
Chloe Swarbrick.
You read IRD and Treasury's research, which shows that the wealthiest families in this country pay less than half the effective tax rate of teachers, nurses, emergency and essential workers and the average New Zealander.
I disagree with the member's interpretation of research issued by the IRD.
Supplementary. Why is her government repealing under urgency public reporting on the fairness of our tax system and pushing ahead with trickle-down tax cuts that disproportionately increase the burden on lower-income New Zealanders?
Just a moment. There will eventually be a consequence for speaking while someone is asking a question. Just as people don't like answers at times, some people don't like the questions. Do not speak while someone is asking a question. Honourable Nicola Willis.
The newly elected government is not of the view that reporting on things and publishing glossy documents actually meaningfully changes people's lives for the better, as the past government conclusively proved over 6 years of bureaucracy, report writing and printing.